Good morning. I'm George Dunnigan with Interlux Paint and Yacht Finishes, working with the Wounded Warriors, and they've asked me to help prepare and instruct on some of the applications of our different products. Today, what we're going to do is look at the Interdeck product, which is a non-skid deck product that comes pre-mixed with the non-skid already in the paint and the flattening agent. So once the deck is prepared properly, it's just a matter of rolling the product on in two thin coats, and then you've got a nice finished deck at that point. So the best way to start on any of these projects is to make sure you have data sheets that give you temperatures, overcoat windows, mixing ratios, safety standards, and all the general information you'll need to apply the product correctly. With Interdeck, it's a very versatile product in that it can go down directly over properly prepared fiberglass without a primer, or it can go on previously painted decks with a fresh primer. So it's a very versatile product. So to begin with, the proper prep would be to start with cleaning the surface with 202 solvent. It's a degreaser, de-waxer. It's a slow evaporating solvent that gets all the contaminants off. You could also use YMA 601 surface prep, which is a emulsifier. It has a slight bit of grit in it, and you scrub that on with a 3M Doodlebug pad. That does the same thing. It roughs the surface up gently and also takes all the wax and grease off. Once you've got all the contaminants off and have flushed the systems, flushed these solvents off the boat, proper sanding is required. So on a previously painted deck, you would sand with 80 grit paper, get a nice scratch in it, and then prime that surface. The primer would be 4279. As one primer, you could use Interprotect, our barrier coat system. You could use our two-part epoxy primer, epoxy prime coat. So there's many different primers that you could use depending on the condition of the deck. On properly prepared fiberglass or epoxy resin, once the blush is removed from the epoxy, which is just a scrub with fresh water, and the epoxy is sanded, then you can roll Interdeck directly over the properly prepared fiberglass. On the primed surface, once it's primed and sanded and all the dust is taken off, then it's just a matter of taping off your non-skid areas. And one of the most important tools to apply the product is these, what I call white foam. I call them hot dog rollers because they look like a hot dog. They're closed cell foam, they're very dense, and they apply a very thin coat, the proper mill thickness, the wet mill thickness that we like to see with Interdeck. You put a coat on today, 16-hour overcoat at 73 degrees, and then you put a coat on tomorrow, and then you've got a nice finished deck at that point. You may need to use chip brushes and tight corners and things like that. The product itself is a very viscous, a thick product in that it usually doesn't really require any thinning, but it does take a good stirring or a whipping with a paint stick. Put it in the roller pan, use your hot dog roller, load the roller up fairly well, and roll on two thin coats with the appropriate time. Make sure you read all your material so you understand overcoat windows and temperatures. Make sure you have all your proper safety equipment as far as respirators, gloves, and all that's necessary for safety. With that, I think we'll begin and prep an area and roll on a square footage of it just to see how it works.